You can join today's board meeting via phone. Dial 971-254-3149, conference ID 736-023-979#. Audio capabilities are listen only and are offered on the best effort for the public. Our meeting is also live streamed, and you can join us by going online to tctvonline.com and click on live broadcasts. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute your phone when your agenda item is ready to be discussed. For those joining via computer, please unmute your microphone and turn on your camera when your agenda item is called. All others must remain muted with their cameras turned off. Thank you. Public comment. Those intending to provide public comment to the board may attend in person or email submissions to publiccomments@co.tillamook.or.us. Public comments received by 12 p.m. on Tuesday will be distributed to the board, posted online before the meeting, and become part of the public record. You may also provide public comment virtually by registering ahead of time. To register, please email publiccomments@co.tillamook.or.us by 12 p.m. on the Tuesday prior to the board meeting. Public comments can also be mailed to the Board of Commissioners Office, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon, 97141. For more information on public comment options, please visit the Board of Commissioners webpage. Do we have anyone signed up in the room, or has anyone registered online for public comment?
We do not.
Okay, we do not. Thank you for that. Okay, if we had any guests in the room, we would ask them to sign the guest list. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't see him behind Rachel. Hi, hopefully you've been able to sign the guest list. Thank you, appreciate that. So we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Bell, will you lead us?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, I will go ahead and address at this time that Commissioner Yamamoto is not with us this morning, and I will be chairing the meeting. I will also let folks who are watching know that agenda item 11 has been postponed. Do we have any public comment in the room? Our guest is with us for an agenda item, so we'll look forward to hearing from him a little bit later. All right, so we will move right into our legislative administrative agenda. We have discussion and consideration of a personal services agreement with Tillamook Bay Community College for customized training and development services. Lieutenant Ani Seahold from the Sheriff's Office will be with us today.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, Lieutenant.
Yes. Okay, so this is the personal service agreement for review between Tillamook County Community Corrections and Tillamook Bay Community College. It's just renewing our contract for the GED program and career guidance course that they provide to justice-involved individuals that we supervise. So this is for a fiscal year and a half. We were on a calendar year contract, and we're trying to get it onto a fiscal year, so that's why it's capturing a year and a half for funding.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
No, I think this is a terrific program. I'm really glad to support it.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that the opportunities for people to improve themselves as they are working through our criminal justice system to give better opportunities when they come out is absolutely fabulous. And I appreciate the work that Ani does with this particular population. That's really important. So, hearing no other discussion, we're ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a personal services agreement with Tillamook Bay Community College for customized training and development services.
And I second. Is there any further discussion?
No.
Okay, hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you so much, Ani.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, we'll move on to agenda item 6, discussion and consideration of a personal services agreement with Accurate Electric Unlimited, Inc. for the retrofit of Tillamook County Jail CCTV system. We have Fernando Silveira, Lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. How's everybody?
Great, thank you.
the contract is to, from Accurate to up, in our facility. We all know it's been outdated, and the original company that installed the system is no longer in service. So having to have somebody come out here every time there's a camera down and becomes a safety and security issue. This new company will come in, upgrade our system, get us up to snuff to where we need to be.
Thank you for that. Are there comments or questions?
No, I think I remember that we talked about this in the process of the ARPA discussions, and I'm certainly in favor of having an updated CCTV system in the jail.
Yeah, agreed. I think that, jails have really moved forward with technology, and it's very important that we remain sort of up to date with that work. So I appreciate the opportunity to do this.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a personal services agreement with Accurate Electric Unlimited, Inc. for the retrofit of the Tillamook County Jail CCTV system.
And I would second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you,
you.
Lieutenant. Okay. It looks like you have the next item as well. Discussion and consideration of an agreement with Consolidated Telecom, Inc. for inmate telephone services. Again, Fernando Silviar, Lieutenant.
Yes, ma'am. Again, we're trying to bring our technology up in our jail, which we're quite a few years behind everybody else. And this is also another part of bringing new phone system, kiosks, so we can proceed with programs, visitations for the adults in custody. And this is just part of what we're trying to change here with our sheriff's office and bringing that technology in.
Excellent, thank you. Is there any questions or comments?
No, I think it's great.
Okay, ready for motion.
I move approval of an agreement with Consolidated Telecom, Inc. for inmate telephone services.
And I would second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner.
Just moving right along here. We will move on to item number 8. Discussion and consideration of a 4th amendment to Oregon Health Authority 2022 Intergovernmental Agreement for the financing of community health, addiction treatment, recovery and prevention, and problem gambling services. Frank Hanna-Williams, Director of Tillamook Family Counseling. Good morning, Frank. Are you with us?
Good morning. I am with you, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This is the 4th amendment for this current intergovernmental agreement, and it is primarily, this focuses on administrative adjustments to funding. It's cost of living, inflation dollars that are added to our current agreement, and with certain service categories which are listed here, this involves some administrative adjustments. It is not a major adjustment, but again, it involves some review and some changes to the funding amounts for the areas that are noted. And I would request your approval.
Thank you, Frank. Are there any questions or comments?
No, no questions.
Okay. And ready for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move approval of a 4th amendment to Oregon Health Authority 2022 Intergovernmental Agreement for the financing of community health, addiction treatment, recovery and prevention, and problem gambling services agreement.
And I would second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, item number 9. Discussion and consideration of an order in the matter of declaring county-owned property as surplus. We have Jeff Underwood, our Interim Director of Information Services. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Commissioners. The item before you this morning is to get rid of one of our old copiers that is broken. It's not of use to anybody here, so we just want to get it out the door and stop taking up space.
Excellent, thank you. comments or questions for Jeff?
Just out of curiosity, what do we do with it if it's broken and useless? Where does it go?
We will do a surplus auction. There's usually somebody out there that wants to try and repair it and make it serviceable, but this one, it was on a very old contract, and so it needed to be replaced in-house anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ready for a motion? Okay, Madam Chair, I move approval of an order in the matter of declaring county-owned property as surplus.
And I would second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay. Item number 10, discussion and consideration of an order in the matter of designating a newspaper for the publication of the 2022 Tillamook County Property Tax Foreclosure List. Joel Stevens, County Counsel.
Good morning, Commissioners. So the order before you designates the Headline Herald, a local paper of general circulation, as the paper whereby we would publish the foreclosure list for this year's foreclosure proceedings, which will start later this summer.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
No, I think it's always the Headline Herald because that is our newspaper here, and so it's something that we just renew every year.
Yeah, I recall the conversation last year. We discussed what would happen if we ever lose our newspaper here and the challenges that are being faced everywhere with just newspapers and the loss of them, and what does that mean for a lot of our services that we're required to publish. So we're very thankful that we still have a printed newspaper here in Tillamook.
I am, yes.
Perfect.
All right. I move approval of an order in the matter of designating a newspaper for the publication of the 2022 Tillamook County Property Tax Foreclosure List.
And I will second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you, Commissioners.
As we previously discussed, item 11 is postponed. Moving on to item 12, discussion and consideration concerning initiating Title III projects for fiscal year 2021-2022, round 2. Rachel Haggerty, Chief of Staff.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So as you said, this is the second round of allocating Title III funds this fiscal year. You have before you a motion to initiate the Title III projects that is to be read aloud during this meeting if you agree to move it forward. As you know, as a county that contains national forests and receives timber and other land use revenues derived from these forests, we are permitted by federal law to allocate up to 7% of these Title III payments to projects that are permitted under the Title III of the Secure Rural Schools and Community Self-Determination Act of 2000. The first step today is initiating projects which is specifically required under that act. So there's 4 authorized uses. One is for the Firewise Communities Program, which you're familiar with Oregon Department of Forestry vouchers. Search and rescue and other emergency services, including firefighting and law enforcement patrols on federal land. Training costs and equipment purchases related to those emergency services. And developing and carrying out community wildfire protection plans. And ODF developed a countywide plan in 2010 with Title III dollars. So this is a complete repeat of what you've seen of the process, but we are required to go through it in detail. So to recap what we're calling round 1 now, at the end of February, the total amount of money available, cash on hand for this fiscal year, 21-22, was $101,000. I advertised a 14-day solicitation period on April 19th, and we received 2 applications by the deadline of May 3rd. Those applications were one from the Sheriff's Office for the purchase of a Ford Raptor in the amount of $52,000, and one from the Oregon Department of Forestry for the Tillamook County Air Debris Program in the amount of $101,000. On May 11th, you read a motion into the record initiating project as required by the Act, and the 45-day comment period began and is scheduled to close on July 1st. There will then be a public hearing on July 6th, where you will obligate the funds per the Act. During the May 11th meeting, I shared with you that following the April 19th public notice to the paper for the $101,000, which is all we thought we had and we're going to get, the county received 2 additional Title III fund installments totaling $70,897.21. So because we cannot just add this money to round 1, we created round 2 and ensues the whole public noticing hearing process again. So before you today is consideration of an item for round 2. So to begin the round 2 process, I advertised a 14-day solicitation period on May 17th, and we've received 4 applications by the May 31st deadline. The total funds requested are $141,794, and the amount available for round 2 is $70,897, so it's almost exactly double. The 4 applications are one from the Sheriff's Office for a search and rescue ATV in the amount of $14,500. Second application from the Sheriff's Office for a search and rescue incident response vehicle in the amount of $44,397. Third application from the Sheriff's Office for search and rescue tough books in the amount of $12,000. And the 4th application is from the Oregon Department of Forestry for the yard debris program in the amount of $70,897. And so you're not voting on these projects today, you're just initiating the public comment period. But a reminder as you're reviewing the applications, which have all been provided to you and are posted online, that the expenses do need to support services on federal forest land for search and rescue or the Firewise program. So I have provided you with the motion, and again, the language of which is provided in the act. If this motion is approved, the next step is a 45-day comment period, which will begin June 14th after being noticed in the Headlight Herald, and is followed by a public hearing that will occur on August 3rd. At that hearing in August, we will review the applications in further detail and consider any public comments that have been made today or at that hearing or in between, and make any adjustments deemed appropriate and take the final step of obligating the funds, and then we would proceed into the contract phase. So, again, we have these 2 rounds, and just as after I did a public notice for round 1, we received an influx of money. 2 days after I published a public notice for round 2, we received another $10,582.79 in sequestration money that was returned to the counties. So the federal government keeps a portion of the money, and I think AOC was part of lobbying for this to have a pretty big chunk returned back to the counties. And so we've been on some email correspondence about that. But we did receive another $10,000 that is not in round 1, it is not in round 2, and I believe is not worth the time to go through this process again, so we'll probably just sit and carry over until we get our traditional influx of Title III funds, whenever that might be. These are very random distributions that we receive. So we are in the middle of round 2 and round 1, but round 1 you won't see anything again until July. Today before you is a motion for you to read into the record initiating projects for round 2.
Okay,
Thank you, Rachel. Are there any questions or comments?
thank you for the backstory. This has been a complicated process, and I appreciate you spelling it all out so clearly for us. So, as I understand it, we will have roughly $171,000 to allocate, which we're not doing today, but when we're ready to allocate, we'll have roughly $171,000, maybe $172,000. And so far, we have about $213,000 in requests. Is that about what you have?
The first part is correct, and then we have 152 and 140, 293.80.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because we have 141 requested from this round and 153 from the last round. Yeah, that math is off just a little bit, but there's not enough money to allocate to all the projects if that's what you're going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you. So certainly I want to move this forward, and I'm also interested in hearing from Dave Helmricks about Firewise.
Sure, yeah, we are pleased to have Dave with us, and you probably can just speak from your chair right there. If you would
Yeah.
state your name and area of residence, so we have that on the record, and talk a little bit about the Firewise program, that would be fabulous.
David Helmricks, live in the city of Tillamook. So Firewise program, yes, we've put in for the both rounds, asking for both the full amounts, more or less, and leaving it up to the county commissioners. Understanding with Sheriff Brown also putting in for projects as well. So Firewise is to help build defensible space around homes for local communities in case of wildfires. 2020 was a prime example. The Labor Day fires, we were not exempt in fires here on the coast. We had the Pike Road fire just out of Bay City, and then we also had the Echo Mountain fire down out of Lincoln County, which did also impact Tillamook County as well. So this Firewise is a national program that is, we use the principles for here in Tillamook County to try and promote Firewise USA communities, and even just helping people with their defensible space. So the yard debris program allows the people to take the yard debris from their homes and take it to one of the transfer stations and dump it for free, and helping reduce that risk of having to burn it at their homes. If the funding is approved, and I know it's not until July, but our big thing is with the first round, if we get secure some funding, our plan is to start the program July 15th, which also coincides with our burn ban for countywide on July 15th. So that way then it will allow people to burn up to that date, and then after that date it would allow them to get rid of that yard debris.
Thank you.
That's a great plan. And obviously we're not voting on this today, but I'll just say that I strongly support the program. I think it's a great use of these funds. I think luckily, both programs, Search and Rescue and Firewise, are excellent programs, so I'm eager for us to get Firewise started again, because I've lost count of the number of emails and calls I've gotten from citizens who really value Firewise and are asking why they don't have the voucher program yet. So I'm hopeful that that's going to happen July 15th, and I'm really grateful to you for being here and talking about it.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement. I think that's really important, and I think prior to last year, the idea of fires on the coast sort of seemed like, oh, are you kidding me? That's not going to happen to us. And then after the fires that did occur, everyone sort of had to adjust our thinking and realize that we are part of, we have wildfire risk here, and they can be significant. So I think it's a great program. So Dave, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate that, and we will look forward to the opportunity to deliberate and make some decisions in July, and hopefully get some funds to you to get it up and running.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay. So I think we are ready for a motion to initiate the process.
Okay. The Tillamook County Board of Commissioners is required to initiate any projects under Title III of the Secure Rural Schools and Community Self-Determination Act of 2000. The county received 4 Title III project applications for fiscal year 2021-2022 by the deadline of May 31st, 2022. The required 45-day comment period beginning on June 14th, 2022 will provide an opportunity for public input on the projects. A public hearing will follow on August 3rd, 2022. At that time, the Board of Commissioners will consider any comments received, make any appropriate adjustments, and obligate the funds to the projects selected. I move to initiate the projects, I move to initiate the projects as submitted. Is that, okay.
I would second. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Okay, moving moving on to item 13. Discussion and consideration of a joint permit application with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers of Portland District, Oregon Department of State Lands, and Oregon Department of Environmental Quality for the Tillamook South Jetty Repairs Project. Rachel Haggerty, Chief of Staff.
So in recent weeks, county staff have received several requests for information and the board to sign as a property owner for the South Jetty Repair Project. And so before you is consideration of two items. A third one is outstanding and will hopefully be ready for you on June 22nd. So as you know, the North Jetty began in January, the repair of that project. The Corps and its contractor wrapped up the stone setting at the end of May, and then they're completing some buttoning up of the site into June, and then that project will be complete. It was 1,350 feet of repair to the jetty, and it cost about $8.97 million. So we are now moving on to the South Jetty. They are hoping to start this summer, and it could take up to 3 years for the repair of that work, which is 1,375 feet. Before you today, the first item is the joint permit application, and it is to be signed by the board as the property owner. It describes that all the attachments speak to the whole project area. We are only owner of 3 of the parcels, and so that information is listed there in the tax lot. And the section that needs to be completed by Community Development Director has been received this morning, so that part is complete. The City County Planning Department Land Use Affidavit, Section 11. And so this is ready for your consideration, basically saying we are the property owner, we're aware of the project. The areas specifically that they're going to be working on county property is about 3.7 acres on Kinchlow Point, along Tillamook Bay for barge offloading and onloading, and then various turnouts along Bay Ocean Dike Road just to allow traffic to be passing back and forth. So that is the first item ready for your consideration.
Thank you, Rachel. Questions or comments?
No, I just think it's really exciting that both jetties are going to be worked on because it's been needed for years, and so it's exciting that the North Jetty is coming to completion. The Army Corps of Engineers thought that they would have to work on it through the summer, and so it's thrilling that they're done early because it's there were a lot of safety concerns about the big trucks and the jetty rock moving through Barview Jetty Campground during the summer. So it's great that that's done, and I'm thrilled that we're getting started on the South Jetty. It's wonderful.
Yeah, agreed. Very, very needed. You know, we don't have a safe way in and out of Tillamook Bay right now. It's a constantly changing set of conditions, and it's dangerous. So getting this repaired is really, really crucial. It was interesting to look at the maps and to see where they were going to place the rocks on the South Jetty side. And it looks like they're going to repair the road where it is washed out right there, which was also just of interest to me. You know, hiking out there, there's been a lot of washout along that road. There's a fairly sizable section that just no longer exists right there at the point. So I think it would be beneficial for many reasons to have that repaired as well. So I think that'll be an added benefit when they're all complete. And I was able, when Senator Merkley was here, to attend a meeting at the Port of Garibaldi where they were looking at specifically the scope of work for the repair and the money that they had. And at that time, they talked about they have money to essentially put a tow on the South Jetty. They don't have money at this time to extend it all the way out to even length of the North Jetty, but they are continuing to seek funding. And then when they go out for bid, the intention, at least as of the time of that meeting, was to put an option in their bid contract for a full extension of that jetty back to its full length, assuming they're able to get the funds. And then on our Working Lands and Waters tour this week, I had an opportunity to visit just briefly with Betsy, who is out of Senator Merkley's office, and she said they are working it. They are trying to find that funding to get the full repair that's needed. So I'm ecstatic that we are getting started, and I continue to remain hopeful that funds will be identified through the Army Corps of Engineers for the full repair. So, thank you. Ready?
Terrific. Madam Chair, I move approval of a joint permit application with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers of Portland District, Oregon Department of State Lands, and Oregon Department of Environmental Quality for the Tillamook South Jetty Repair Project.
And I would second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, moving on to item 14, discussion and consideration of a Tillamook County Department of Community Development planning application for the Tillamook South Jetty Repair Project. Rachel Hagerty, Chief of Staff.
Community Development Department staff have been working with the Army Corps of Engineers in the preparation of this application. We did also receive this morning the land use compatibility statement signed by Director Absher that accompanies this planning application. We have a permit number that is now on it, so the document that you sign will have that additional information. So again, you're signing as the property owner here.
Thank you. Any other comments and concerns?
No.
Okay. Ready for a motion?
Madam Chair, move approval of a Tillamook County Department of Community Development planning application for the Tillamook South Jetty Repairs Project.
And I would second. We have a motion and a second. Do I hear any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All of those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, so we have a time certain public hearing for 10 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and read the board announcements so that if any of you who are watching or signed in are not interested in coming back, because we will recess as we wait for that time certain, you can go ahead and hear what's up and coming. So we'll do that, and then we will go ahead and recess after that. So the commissioners will hold a board briefing on Wednesday, June 8, 2022 at 2 p.m. to discuss weekly commissioner updates. The meeting will be held at the courthouse in the Nehalem Room, 201 Laurel Avenue, Tillamook, Oregon. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149. Conference ID 736-023-979#. The commissioners will hold an executive session on Friday, June 10, 2022 at 8 a.m. pursuant to ORS 192.6602A to consider the employment of a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent. This executive session is not open to the public. There is no commissioner board meeting or board briefing scheduled for Wednesday, June 15, 2022. The Local Public Safety Coordinating Council teleconference will be held on Monday, June 20th, 2022 at 12 p.m. The teleconference number is 1-971-254-3149. Conference ID 113-785-794#. Looking forward, Independence Day is an observed holiday for the county and the Oregon State Circuit Court. All county offices in the Tillamook County Courthouse and the Tillamook County Library, administrative offices in the jail and justice facility, Public Works Department, Department of Community Development, Surveyor's Office, and the Health and Human Services Department and clinics will be closed on Monday, July 4th, 2022. Okay, we actually have two public hearings this morning, so we will have a 10 a.m. time certain for an amendment to Ordinance 43, and we will have a 10:10 concerning the budget fund. So if you are with us and are interested in those two topics, we hope you'll come back and join us at 10, but for right now, we will recess this board meeting. Thank you. Well, I didn't say what time it was for our recess.
Closing.
I didn't say the time, sorry, Isabel.
I got it, it's
Okay.
okay. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Dave, you want to visit for a minute? Sure.